Claire. I'll continue. So Dr. Claire Achmad is the Chief Children's Commissioner at Mana Mokopuna, Children and Young People's Commission. She is a recognised advocate for children in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and internationally, having worked in a wide range of areas relating to children's rights, including from legal, policy and practice perspectives. Before becoming the Chief Children's Commissioner, Claire served as Chief Executive Officer of Social Service Providers, Te Pai Ora or Aotearoa. In that role, championed the aspirations and outcomes of children, rangatahi and whānau and community-based social service providers, strongly grounded in a focus on equity. And whānau, when I met Claire this morning, her first interaction with me was kei roti te reo Māori. So that's a great sign. Claire holds a doctorate in International Children's Rights Law from Leiden University in the Netherlands and has published internationally on a range of children's rights issues. She also holds degrees in Arts and Law from the University of Auckland and is a University of Auckland 40 under 40 honoree. Previously, Claire worked for children's NGOs and international organisations in Aotearoa, Australia and Europe, held a senior role with Te Kāhui Tika Tangata, the New Zealand Human Rights Commission, and practiced as in-house legal counsel in the New Zealand Government. She was admitted as a barrister and solicitor of the High Court of New Zealand in 2007. Whānau, if you can join with me to welcome to our stage Dr. Achmad.
Tuia te rangi, tuia te papa, tuia nā kōrero, tuia nā wānanga. Kia mau, kia ita, kia kuru paunamu te rongo, mō te oranga o nā mokopuna. Humie, huie, tae ki e. Ki nā mate o te motu, nā marae ai tua, kua whetu rangi tia. Haere, haere, haere atu rā. Nei rā te mihi ki nā hapu me nā iwi o tēnei rohe. Ki nā pai maunga, nā pai awa e rere nei, me nā marae maha o tāmaki makaurau. Tēnā koutou katoa. Tēnā koe e te kai karakia, Robbie. Nau I whakatūwhera tēnei wāhanga, mā tātou katoa, kia pai ai tēnei wānanga. Tēnā kōrua e nā rangatira, mā te roa, Dr. Tuhi, me te kōmiti whakahaere. E nā rangatira, Professor Cutfield, Professor Gillen, Professor Taylor. Nā rangaropa o tēnei kaupapa, whakahirahira, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia tātou, nā kānohi ora, rau rangatira mā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. It's a true privilege to be part of this symposium. Tākiri mai te haiata he ara I whānau ai, child health, well-being and learning, as we celebrate and draw together at this 10-year mark of A Better Start e Tipu e Rea National Science Challenge. And it's a real pleasure to have the opportunity to offer some whakaro into this collective space. E mihi ana ki a koe, Professor Cutfield and your colleagues for the warm invitation. In addition to my earlier greetings, I wish to mihi to Dame Winnie Laban, to Sir Ashley Bloomfield, who I know is joining us later today, to members of the National Science Advisory Panel, and the amazing network of National Science Challenge people, researchers, stakeholders, and implementation partners. Ngā mihi kia koutou katoa. It's a joy to see many familiar faces here today, and also ka nohi hou, new faces to me too. To help you locate me, no Airani ko te rana ingarangi me Indonesia o Kutipune, I te taha o toku mātua no Jaumatenga, Indonesia ahau, I te taha o toku whaia no Airani ko te rana me ingarangi ahau. I tipu ake ahau I te kāinga o Titirangi, I te maru o te maunga o Waitakere, i te taha o te awa o te whau. Ko te whanganui atara e noho ana, ko Claire in Rawati tōku ingoa, ko ahau te kaikomi hana matua mō ngā tamariki o Aotearoa. I've been in the role of Chief Children's Commissioner for 5 months now, both a short and long time, depending how you look at it. Given that there's been a lot of change and every day is hugely dynamic in my mahi. An inherent mix of challenging, demanding and rewarding. There's light and shade, the fun of getting to spend time playing, learning and listening with the mokopuna, the children and young people of our country, through to the need to speak up for and with them on some of the darkest and deepest challenges that they face. The role is a huge privilege and a responsibility that I hold seriously and very close to my heart, with an unwavering belief that we can and we must do better for and with the mokopuna of our country. I've long held a commitment to social justice, human rights, equality and fairness, basically to a better world, from a young age. As a proud child of West Auckland, I had opportunities to be involved in projects and causes contributing to positive change both locally and internationally, often with a focus on helping other children and strengthening their lives and well-being. Fundraising for Sir Howard Morrison's Ride for Life education, local stream cleanups, the 40-hour famine, and a local park redesign are some of my most memorable projects that I got involved with as a child. I also got to walk in multiple worlds as a young child. I got to see the impact of disadvantage in the community around me. I myself experienced a life-threatening illness, and I remain indebted to our health professionals who cared for me alongside my family. Throughout my school years, I experienced the unifying nature of Te Ao Māori and celebrated the positive foundations of our bicultural nation, while hearing the many languages, tasting the many foods, and learning about the cultures that make up our multicultural diversity. The threads of my career have carried forward this commitment to serving and working in the interest of others, and I'm not ashamed to say that to this day, I remain an optimistic, pragmatic idealist. And you know what? I think that's a necessary attitude to bring to the mahi of advocacy for and with children. While an undergrad student at Waipapa Taumatarau, the University of Auckland, I had my first opportunity to walk alongside refugee and migrant families who were seeking access to justice. My graduate role as an in-house legal counsel at the Ministry of Social Development was hugely formative, bringing me face to face with people who had only known our government systems as faceless entities, while often facing the toughest times in their lives. Time spent advocating at the European Union and Council of Europe for the rights of unaccompanied minor asylum seeker children not to be returned to war-torn places like Afghanistan and Iraq, which they had undertaken unimaginable journeys to leave, strengthened my resolve to dedicate my career to children and their rights. And my time recently working back home validated this choice, bringing me closer to the highly skilled, complex work of kaimahi in our child protection and youth justice systems. Woven throughout my practice across law, policy and advocacy has been my bent for continuous learning and an innate curiosity, including my doctorate in international children's rights law from the University of Leiden, where I continue to hold a lectureship. But when it comes down to it, what motivates me is my deep commitment to seeing all children experience their rights every day in their lives. This means not only getting to understand the challenges experienced by our most disadvantaged mokopuna, but also a commitment to contributing to influence change and shape solutions for and with them. And in a nutshell, this is now what I get to do every day in the unique role of Chief Children's Commissioner, leading Mana Mokopuna Children and Young People's Commission. Our commission exists to be the independent advocate for children and young people, all children and young people in Aotearoa under the age of 18, and those who are in or have been care experienced in our oranga tamariki system up to the age of 25. We see mokopuna in the context of their whānau, their hapu, their iwi and communities, and we celebrate mokopuna in all of their wonderful diversity. In te ao hurihuri, our ever-changing world, the importance of an enduring focus on the well-being of our country's children and young people is perhaps more important than ever before. It's something that requires of us a consistent, enduring and sustained commitment. And I see a vibrant expression of the shared commitment in the mahi of a better start, e tupu e rea National Science Challenge. So on the occasion of this 10-year research symposium, and as we look ahead to where the wealth of high-impact, data-driven, partnership-based research will be applied to support child wellbeing, I celebrate and I acknowledge each and every one of you who has been involved in this endeavour. Nei rā te mihi kia koutou katoa. In my own research in the field of children's rights, I'm committed to ensuring that my academic scholarship is never just research for research's sake, but rather that it has a practical application, an actionable value in the lives of children and their whānau. This is the approach that I see coming through in the strategic research of this National Science Challenge, to which the majority of you here today have dedicated so much time, expertise and energy, some of you close to or over a decade now. I'm really excited about the impacts that the research and initiatives coming out of the challenge are already having, and the impacts that we are yet to see too. Already, your innovative and in many cases world-leading research has led to things such as improving sleep and well-being in whānau Māori with infant pepe through an Indigenous lens, improving the literacy and learning of preschool mokopuna, including mokopuna Māori and Samoan mokopuna, rich insights being generated about the importance of creating and maintaining Māori spaces to support haputanga experiences, a deeper understanding of how mokopuna want to access mental health support, and new big data insights being generated about a range of realities in the health, well-being and learning of Aotearoa New Zealand's children. And these are just a few of the insights and outcomes already affected by a better start. I believe that there are so many new seeds that are continuing to be planted through your research and the data flowing out of the many initiatives nested within this National Science Challenge. And I believe that what grows from the research and data seeds of the challenge will positively help generations of children towards that strong start in life that they all have the right to experience. It's really important that the work of this National Science Challenge has been deeply rooted in te tiriti o Waitangi and an equitable approach to research. In the words of Tā Apirananata, which a better start is framed within, e tipu e rea mō nā rā o tō ao, ki tō ringa ki nā rākau a te Pākehā, hei ara mō te tinana, ko tō nākau ki nā taonga a o tipuna Māori, hei tiki mō māhuna, ko tō wairua ki tō atua, nāna nei, nā mea katoa. The way that the mahi of this challenge has been undertaken provides, from what I can tell, a blueprint for the way that rangahau can and should be led by Māori researchers for and with Māori. It also provides a living, breathing manifestation of the partnership of te tiriti o Waitangi and a pro-equity, anti-racist approach in action, demonstrating how tangata whenua and tangata tauiwi researchers can work together in the service of the people of our beautiful lands and the generations that are yet to come. You've intentionally shaped research methodologies that bring culture and an understanding of culture to the forefront. And this is evident in the research outcomes that I've seen. Ngā mihi mō tēnei. Kia kaha, kia maia, kia manawa nui I tēnei wairuatanga o te rangahau tōnu. I also love that co-design and co-construction of the research projects within the challenge is embedded within your ways of working. I think that it's grounded within relationships and symbiotic partnerships with the communities and partners who have a direct interest in the kaupapa being researched, that we ultimately get the most rich and valuable research insights. We must not lose sight of this. I believe that those who are affected by socioeconomic challenges, including children and whānau themselves, often have the most important insights and ideas about what would help to strengthen them and build their protective factors. They are the people who can often identify the innate strengths that all families and whānau have to build on to create those nourishing environments of love, care and resource that enable children to flourish from their early years throughout childhood and beyond. In fact, it's a focus on the importance of child participation in the things that matter to them, that affect them, and the decisions that impact them that I'm committed to putting front and centre in my work as Chief Children's Commissioner over the 5 years of my tenure. I'm committed to this not only because it's the right of every child under Article 12 of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child to participate in decisions affecting them, but also because I truly think it's the right thing to do, because it means better outcomes in their lives and actually in the lives of us all. I'm so committed to hearing the voices of children and young people and encouraging their participation, including in shaping my advocacy and the work of Mana Mokopuna, that soon after starting in my role last year, I shaped up a new project with my team. It focuses on asking mokopuna around the motu one important pātai. I tōu ao, he aha ngā mea nui. In your world, what matters most? We ask this through surveys, through time with mokopuna in their communities and schools, and by inviting them to fill in postcards addressed to me, sharing their whakaaro. My commitment to them is to read every single one of those postcards, and let me say, I've already read through a lot, and so that I can hear and truly understand what matters most in their world. Well, I have to say, I have been blown away by what mokopuna have shared with me so far. I think about the 10-year-old here in Tāmaki Makaurau, who told me with great passion that tortoises are the most important thing in his world. Let me tell you, he really, really wants a tortoise. But that he also wants everyone in our country to have a home so that there are no more homeless people. I think about the 8-year-old up in Te Tai Tokerau, who told me about her favourite waiata and how singing it helps her to heal from the bad things she's experienced in her short life. I think about the 17-year-old down in Otatahi, who told me how hard their journey as a transgender rangatahi in our state care system has been, and how they just want to help now to make sure that others' journeys are easier. And I think about the 6-year-old in Te Whanganui-a-Tara, who told me the most important thing in her world is her heart, because it helps her to feel things and to know things. I've also been blown away by just seeing the power of actually asking the question in the first place. I've been surprised by the number of children who have been at first surprised and then quickly delighted and excited when I've asked them what matters most in your world. I've seen how eager mokopuna are to share their views. And often the answers, whether they come from mokopuna who are 5 or 6, 12-year-olds, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, are hugely thoughtful. They show a depth of understanding and wisdom, not only about themselves, who they are, their communities, but also the bigger things in the world around us, the world that's shaping us, but that we have a big hand in shaping too. In case you're curious, the things that are currently trending in terms of the things that matter most in the worlds of mokopuna, who we've heard so far, are family. That is right there up the top, followed by education, followed by school and friends, and participating in things like their culture and play. A strong sense of care for others is coming through, for the well-being of others and for papatuanuku and our climate. I'll keep asking mokopuna in your world what matters most over the coming months and years, and I'm already excited to hear what they continue to tell me. Their views will help to inform my advocacy in real time. Given I have the somewhat unenviable task of being the advocate for all of Aotearoa's approximately 1.2 million mokopuna, you might also be wondering, what are my aspirations for our country's children and young people? I have the highest aspirations for and with mokopuna. It's my role to believe in them, to show up for them, to hear them, to see them, value them, and to celebrate them. And there's a few things on my aspiration list, beyond placing the voices, lived experience, and genuine participation of mokopuna at the heart of my approach. My central aspiration is for every child in this country to grow up loved, safe, and well, flourishing to their full potential, standing strong in their identity and in their mana, being truly who they are, embodying the moimoia of their tipuna, and with a strong sense of hope for their own future and for our collective future too. In fact, this is often what children around the motu have repeatedly told me that they want for their lives. Often it's children who are in the toughest situations who've told me so clearly, we just want to be loved. We just want to be safe. We just want to be who we are. We want our whānau to thrive without stress so that we can grow. In short, this means all children in all circumstances at all times experiencing all of their rights, all of the promises that our state has made to every single child in this country. Although we still have a long way to go, I relentlessly believe that it is possible and that we must make this our shared collective endeavour. Our moimoia, our vision at Mana Mokopuna, is kia kuru pounamu te rongo, that all children get to live their best lives. And I believe the work that you do, good research and science, really matters to children's lives and for a healthier future for all of us. Digging down a bit deeper, I want us at all levels, whānau, community, societal, to value mokopuna for the precious taonga that they are. I want ours to be a country where whānau Māori experience equitable outcomes and the full promise of Te Tiriti o Waitangi is realised, so that Māori can flourish in all facets of their life, safe in their whānau, proud in their identity, their reo, their whakapapa, their tikanga. I want to see all Pacific mokopuna thriving fully, their ainga and whānau fully resourced, embodying the spirit of Moana Nui Akiwa in action. All mokopuna whaikaha participating and developing with access to the supports that they need to help them thrive and experience full inclusion. I want to see every single child experiencing that strong start in life, as strong as possible, and greater government investment and a focus on policies that wrap support and nourishment around whānau in those crucial first 2,000 days from conception to early childhood, and incomes and a standard of living that enables the full potential and well-being of our youngest. I want to see a deepening of investment into prevention and policies and initiatives that strengthen families so that harm does not occur in the first place, and that when it does, responsive, culturally effective support is there when it's needed. I want to see our oranga tamariki system focus on actually getting the basics right for all children in the care of the state, so that children who have already experienced trauma can heal, recover, and thrive. An education system that provides equitable, accessible learning opportunities for all children, no matter what their age or stage or situation. An education system where we actually remove those systemic barriers, where all akonga feel safe to learn, to grow and develop. I want to see all our country's children growing up with thriving mental health and the right holistic mental health support when they need it, so that not one more child is left feeling so helpless that they choose suicide. I will also continue calling for successive governments to make ending poverty in this country an ongoing project of national significance, with appropriate funding, policies, data and measures attached. Inextricably, all of this requires a focus on climate justice too, because right now the future of our planet looks the bleakest to those who are growing up today and contemplating their and our collective future here on Earth. Because you're here today, and because you're involved in A Better Start, I know that you will share many of these aspirations too. And while it's a particular responsibility of mine as Chief Children's Commissioner to be that vision holder and advocate for what is possible and what must be achieved for and with mokopuna, this is mahi that takes us all. It takes all of us to play our part to bring our experience, insights and relationships forward, to pull our mātauranga into our collective kete and to carry it forward, e tū, together, and alongside our country's children and whānau to make progress, so that every child not only has a great start in life, but can thrive throughout that precious, albeit fleeting, time of childhood. Through your research and mahi, and through the many positive initiatives that I see in communities around the motu, and through the advocacy and calls of mokopuna themselves, I already see change is happening. Congratulations again on an incredible decade of research through this National Science Challenge. Please keep bringing your insights forward to the government, to policymakers, to practice leaders, to the communities that these findings impact, to hapu, to iwi, and to advocates like me and across our community-based social services sector. The fact is that New Zealand's children will significantly benefit from the research generated through this challenge if it is translated into policy, practice improvements and programs that reach the communities that it relates to and the lives of children that it focuses on. Please remember, you are a powerful, influential group of leaders. Our government and our decision makers need to know about your research and engage with the evidence and the data that you are generating. I'll continue the call to for reputable research, for robust data about children's health, well-being and lives, and that this needs to be valued, invested in and strengthened. This is essential so that we can have the strongest possible evidence base to inform the decisions that affect children's lives and to effect that intergenerational change that we all want to see. I look forward to continuing to learning more myself about how the discoveries achieved through this National Science Challenge can and will make a difference for the mokopuna of our nation. Together, let's keep the perspectives of children central in our future mahi and make a conscious decision in our work to see through the eyes of children. That is my wero to you, even after this National Science Challenge comes to a formal close. Children are nearly a quarter of our population, and the part of the population with the greatest potential for both positive and challenging futures. Sound science will be essential in addressing some of the biggest challenges ahead of our children and future generations. Sound science has the power to help us get ahead in our health, education, climate and well-being challenges before they deepen any further. Let's join together and water those seeds of change and of care so that the full potential of all children can blossom. I look forward to the continued journey ahead of us in the service of mokopuna, so their aspirations and those of their tipuna can soar to new heights. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.